take us away, man, about like your
Yep.
experience living with women and what kind of sparked that idea.
Yeah. So when you mentioned the other night that you're gonna go try a new living situation, to shack up with a female roommate. I know a lot of guys, and especially a lot of guys, if you've been watching the channel for a while and you found us maybe back in more kind of some of the RP type days, a lot of guys on the surface might think that's a terrible idea. But I immediately thought back to when I was in college, and college living situation is giant house, 8 bedrooms, each pay a couple $100 a month. And there's usually people kind of coming and going. They have different academic schedules. Some people are coming into the system, others are graduating out, what have you. But I lived with quite a few female roommates in college, and I found that it was actually a really cool living situation. I mean, I grew up with siblings. I have a sister, and I have plenty of female cousins. It was no different than that, really. However, there is one caveat there. Guys, don't move in with a female roommate who you are attracted to. That is awkward for both of you. You will friend zone yourself. You will see other guys come through the house. You will do yourself a giant disservice. There will be disharmony in the household. There will be friction. There will be tension. It will not end up well. So when I say I lived with female roommates, those are lines I never cross. Don't ever get into that territory with a female roommate. And it's easier too, I suppose, if you're not that physically attracted to her. But I've lived with some very attractive roommates too, and you start to, it's kind of like a brother sister type relationship, which is really kind of fun because you can talk about things like dating, being that you don't necessarily want to hook up with each other. Otherwise that'll muddy the waters between you and cause some boundary issues. But another benefit, we're on the dating topic, if she's a relatively attractive female roommate, and I think pretty much every girl I've lived with has been attractive, you get access to all of her friends. And that doesn't mean that, I think you guys need to remove this mindset that, oh, men and women cannot be friendly or amicable to each other because there's always that lesser desire that wants to reveal its face. And yeah, I know we are animals. There are those desires when you see an attractive woman. Okay, like, yeah, she's attractive. But luckily we have a most of us hopefully fully developed prefrontal cortex, so we can make those decisions. We can say, okay, I have to use the bathroom right now, but I'm not going to take a dump on my desk because we're not animals. We're animalistic, but we're not true animals. So you can draw those boundaries, you can respect those lines, and you'll have a beneficial relationship in doing so. To Joel, to your point, there's a lot to learn from women, especially about women. What better way to learn how they actually are when you live with one? And I'll give a couple real quick examples, Joel, and I'll kick it back to you. Many experiences living with female roommates, as we've already established, but I know one, and this helped out my dating life multiple times, not just one, but so many times I can't count. My roommate's getting all dolled up. She's ready to go out. She's doing her hair. She's, in the bathroom for hours, especially if you have a shared bathroom. You're like, hey, can you take a strategic break so I can take a bio break in my own bathroom? Hours getting dolled up, doing whatever it is they do in there. They go out. You're like, all right, break a leg, Kelly, go have a good time. She comes home an hour, maybe 2 hours max later, and just in a completely not good, deflated mood. And naturally you ask, what happened, what's going on? And it's never like, they're never in a super deflated mood. It's like, oh, I showed up on the date and the guy was kind of a dud, so I called it quits early. It's like, okay, yeah, that happens. It happens to girls and guys. And guys, you'll see a lot of commonalities. Girls have just as tough a time in the dating world as us guys do, for different reasons, but similar experiences. Comes home, okay, hey, you know what? The dude was kind of a dud, didn't work out, but I got my night back. That's usually kind of our take for the guys. Like, hey, you know what? It's not going to go anywhere. Cut it early. Buy back some of your time, and get on out of there, go on to bigger, better things. But what truly breaks them up is when she goes out. She's all dolled up. She's primed and proper, and she's looking, and it's a guy she likes, and or she at least wants to have something with, and everything's going well. They're laughing and they're having a good time and they're flirting, but maybe there's a little maybe there's a little escalation, but they come home completely deflated and, oh my God, the guy was so hot. He was everything I wanted him to be. I didn't get catfish. He showed up. He was charismatic. He got her going, got her attraction triggers going, and then he didn't make a move. Nothing happened. That just completely as him. So I didn't know that, which I took that lesson years ago. I learned this lesson that when I go on a date and if there's attraction between us, it is my job. I need to escalate. I need to make a move. Worst thing that'll happen is she's like, oh, hey, I'm not really looking for that. Or, oh, hey, I think you read the vibe wrong. Cool. Now you know. Like now you know. But I learned from having female roommates that when the guy doesn't make the move, it's very disappointing for them, and a lot of times it crushes their egos. And then a second one, I know, going back to the shared bathroom situation, when I had girls over to the house, they do get territorial. So I was seeing a girl once, and I think she took a shower. I date Latina girls, so they have the long hair usually down halfway down their back, if not to their butt. So my roommate years ago, I lived in California still. She gets in the shower. She's like, all right. She's like, can you tell so-and-so not to leave her damn hair in the shower? And they get very territorial too. That this is my bathroom. How dare? And she used more colorful language. You'll also see when you live with girls, they're regular people. They talk just like you and I. So I'd say, Joel, particularly in your situation, go for it. And to the audience, to whoever's watching this, guys, don't get worried about chicks. They're people. They're like you and I. Again, with that clear boundary that they are in non-effable type territory. Now, for the purpose of dating, that's a whole nother topic. But for the sake of this video or this discussion, we're talking about just being friends, just being cool with women. And you know what? Especially in places like Mexico, when the reputation gets out, they're like, hey, Jaren's pretty cool with chicks. Like, hey, Joel gets along with all my girlfriends. They will bring bounds of women into your life. So get over that mindset of, if I'm living with her, I must be smashing her. No. Her girlfriends will come through. And then if not, their girlfriends' girlfriends and girlfriends' girlfriends. So it does wonders for your social game, which we haven't even talked about.